Yo guys, it's Andy. I'm on my way for my every other month cancer infusion. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on with me, my cancer updates, as well as the different mods that I've had on my new bike, my new Super Glide. So let's head up, let's go get that ride and get an update. Welcome to MCC Just Motos. Alright, so there is my 2026 Super Glide, but on the way we go. My Street Glide Ultra was not so easy to get on and go. This one is. So, for those of you just joining my channel and those that don't know much about me, I do have a cancer. I have a really rare non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I don't hide it, but it's not like the feature of everything in every video that I do. So I just want you to know that. So what is this non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? It's called a splenic marginal zone lymphoma. Basically it means my spleen and bone marrow have cancer. My blood. And it's one of the rarest forms of blood cancer there is. About like less than 2% of people get this particular kind. About 40% of my bone marrow had cancer, and my spleen was super enlarged and my lymph nodes were enlarged, and they officially saw, I think it was like a stage 3 cancer. And what my doctor said is that this cancer is, my oncologist, is non-curable. It is incurable, but it is treatable, meaning that she said, you know, when the cancer acts up, they'll take some medicine loads to knock it back down, and then it knocks back down for a long time, and it's a slow growth so far, and then when it starts to get cancer levels higher, then knock it back down again. It was been quite a journey, and it's had its ups and downs. It is not what I thought cancer would be like, and it's not what I would ever thought would happen to me. That being said, I'm going to give you the good news. The good news is it's not remission, but I don't have high cancer levels, and that's how it's going to stay while I'm on this regimen. I hope, right? My cancer levels are not high. They're not, I get blood tests. My spleen, which was extremely painful and hurt so much, is shrunk, and all my lymph nodes are shrunk, and almost everything has shrunk. And that's great, so I can eat again. I dropped a lot of weight. I couldn't eat because I was just so painful to eat. That's the good news. And you know, like I said, it means what I have to do is maintain this infusion regimen, this biologic infusion regimen every 2 months. Not terrible. You know, it's a 4 or 5 hour infusion, and yay, fun times. Oh crap, that reminded me, I forgot to take my well, we'll have to get it there. I forgot to take my allergy medicine, because sometimes like the first time I had my infusion medicine, man, did I have a weird reaction. It felt like my head was gonna pop off, and it was definitely a weird reaction. So they load me up with antihistamines so I don't have a reaction to the medicine, and that seems to work. So usually I do Tylenol and stuff beforehand, but I forgot. Turn on cruise control. I love cruise control on this bike. Okay, so the bad news is, and those of you who watch my channel, some know, some don't, I've had a lot of side effects to the medicine. A lot of side effects to the cancer. The side effects, some of the biggest ones are the medicine kind of rewired my immune system. And before, I had a weakened immune system, and I was getting sick, and like, I didn't understand why I was getting sick. I felt strong, and then I'd get sick, and but it rewired my immune system, and I probably had some latent allergies that hit all at once that my body used to be able to handle, but now I can't. Specifically, food allergies. I can't eat shellfish. I have the tick-borne alpha-gal, which I had no idea until I started taking the medicine stuff, where I wasn't bitten by a tick for like 2 years, but then I absolutely started getting allergic to all red meat, puking and getting sick, and about all the, the opposite of puking, if you without being too graphic, and just sick to my stomach on all meat. I couldn't eat meat anymore, except for poultry. I can eat chicken and turkey. I've had some weird fruit and vegetable allergies, bananas, stone fruit, peaches, cherries, nectarines, anything with a pit. I could get allergies, and it's not all the time. And sometimes the allergies are mild, such as itchy face or itchy eyes. Sometimes it'll make me kind of swell up or get hives. And dairy, I can't eat much dairy because I can get alpha-gal reaction to that. So I literally had to stop eating like so much different foods. And I finally figured out different foods I could eat, like toast and butter, eggs on toast, that kind of thing, chicken. And ever since that, my cholesterol's been sky high. So I had to and then I got a fatty liver and like all sorts of stuff. And like, it's just been this balance and this non-stop food journey where I have to figure out what kind of food I can and can't eat, and what the side effects are to those foods, whether it's allergy or whether it's health side effects. And it just sucks. It's not like I can just eat vegetables, because carrots and broccoli and like some stuff like that I can get allergic to. It is not fun. The other big allergic thing that I get, or the other big side effect that I get, is I have a lot of skin reactions. I get rashes on my body pretty bad. I get swelling. I get these weird pimples in my mouth and on my face mainly, and rashes on just all sorts of my body that I just never had before. And I have all these different medicines I have to put on there, and so it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. But the bottom line is, and I get nauseous. I get nauseous, and sometimes I can't eat. Sometimes I just get sick for no reason. But that's pretty infrequent. And sometimes I get really exhausted. So sometimes sometimes my just energy's not there and I feel completely drained. Yay, cancer. Not really, but when I have the infusions, what will happen is usually for a day or two after, I get nauseous and really drained. So I kind of take those days off work and just kind of focus on myself. And so that's what happens after the infusions. I do get tired, I do get sick a little bit, and I don't like to eat. But then it passes. And sometimes like 4 or 5 days afterwards, without being too graphic, my body gets rid of all the infusion medicine. We'll say that. Okay. Now you know. So that's what's going on with me. It's just what it is. And I don't give it too much energy. I don't give it too much thought. People ask about my lifespan. The average lifespan for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is 10 years. I've had this a year and a half, going on a year and 3/4. I don't give that much weight, because the average age for someone to get the type of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma I have is like 70 years old. And so, 80 years old is like your average lifespan anyway. So I don't know if those numbers are skewed or not. I don't give it too much weight. And more than anything, I don't drink alcohol, or I stopped drinking alcohol, and I stopped eating a lot of sugar, because I've heard that can, quote unquote, feed cancer. So I'm trying to cut back on that a lot. Yeah, that's my food journey, my cancer journey, and just where I am. Now, here's the other important part that I think crosses over, is the way I enjoy my life is I just take the ups and downs, and I don't really try and put too much woe or energy to negatives in my life, because that doesn't do much. You know, I'll do what I can, but I don't dwell on it. And I just don't dwell. But I do focus on motorcycling. Motorcycling keeps me really, really happy, and it gets a lot of my focus. And that's how I have been maintaining, I think, my positive attitude. You know, I loved food, I loved beer, I loved certain alcohol. You know, now I'm not taking that. Is it a minus for me? Sure, but it's not one I focus on. It used to be, but now I found other things to focus my energies on, and that's, you know, motorcycling was always there, but now it's even stronger. So I love it, and I try and maintain my happiness by motorcycling. Okay, so I'm gonna head to my Infusion. Like I said, it's about a 4 or 5 hour IV trip kind of thing. The Infusion staff there is awesome. PAs, nurses, doctors, all very awesome. A lot of care. I know them all pretty well. They take their job seriously, and they make me feel comfortable and like it. So I sit down in a big chair. I go in the early part of the day because I want the rest of my day just usually sleep. But that's what it is. Is it smart taking a motorcycle there? You know, I don't think it's bad. Like I said, I do get sleepy a little bit, not tired. I won't say sleepy. I get tired afterwards. But, you know, if I'm riding, I maintain a lot of focus, and I don't have to worry so much about, you know, being tired. And it's a beautiful day out, so might as well. So after I get this Infusion, I'm gonna take you out to the motorcycle, and I will show you the latest and greatest on the mods that I've done in my 2026 Super Glide. Now, if you haven't checked out my video on talking to Bjorn Schuster, the designer of this, I recommend you do that. Take a look right here. He talks about the Super Glide, and what I'll say about this bike is that there's so many different ways to modify and change the looks, the style, the feature of this bike. I don't know if we're ever done, but I've already done some, and almost everyone that I know who owns this bike has done a little bit to it. And that's cool. I think this bike lends itself well to doing modifications. All right, we'll pick it back up later. One more thing I forgot to mention is that I got my Lucky shirt, Lucky socks on, and I wear them every Infusion, so just so you know. I just got done with my cancer Infusion. Went okay. I'm a little nauseous, but as promised, I'm gonna take you walk arounds of the latest updates, of the latest mods to my bike. I'm gonna take you for a walk around of all the latest mods that I've done to my 2026 Super Glide. So there is my bike. Red, white, and blue, tubeless wheels, chrome everything. I love it. And this paint sparkles so nice in person. The first mod that I have is my Harley-Davidson seat. It is a hammock seat. Now, it's a much more comfortable seat than the stock seat. You can see it's 2 up. It was kind of a pain to install. I had to change some of the mounting brackets under the fender for the handle, the grab handle there. Had to change the mounting position for the grab handle there. It was okay. There is a bit of a tank gap, as in all Super Glides, but it is much more comfortable for myself and, more importantly, a passenger. Now, to go along with the passenger, I did install a backrest, and I bought an Amazon backrest. I'm not extremely pleased with it. It said it worked for a street block. It said it worked for a street bob or a softail. The reason I went with this backrest is because it came with a little package tray there. And I just wanted some extra utility. It's supposed to be quick release, but I promise you, it will pop right out because it is, these are too wide for the fenders, even though they have extra install buttons right there, or install mounting points. they like pop out. So in order to actually install everything, this took hours to get just right. You had to get the seats, you had to get the backrest, you had to get the package tray and the backrest all installed together, and then get these on, and then back the mounting brackets out a little bit more than stock, and then screw them in. It was so hard to figure out and how to do. I don't really recommend it. Additionally, so if you're gonna get a backrest, I recommend go with a Harley-Davidson backrest, not the Amazon special. I will put a link if you want the package tray. That was the only way for me to do it, but it was a pain in the butt to do. Really hard to figure it out. Also, the stock backrest was too thick. I cut about 1 inch off of the foam padding. There's a zipper underneath there, and it pushed the passenger up about another inch, so I cut 1 inch off, and it looks the same. It doesn't look terrible, but it gives them a lot more room. So that's the biggest change, is just the seat and the backrest with package tray. Theoretically, I could take off the seat with a quick release, but yeah, does not go in good, because you have to unscrew those to loosen the all sorts of things. Yeah, not good. All right, so the next mod that I did was one I'm really happy about. It's a Khrome Werks, just a slip-on exhaust. And what I'll do is, it looks exactly the same. It wasn't terrible to install. I did it myself. Just a couple different, you can see them, mounting brackets there, as well as you gotta loosen the shield off there, take it off, and there was just another clamp that you had to put on. But what it does, it creates a great sound to it. I'll turn it on so you can hear. I think it sounds a lot better. Not super loud, but really nice. It hits exactly where I want. So that's the other mod there. Now, I will show you what this looks like, but next mod is, I use this bike to commute. And because I use it to commute, I have to use my phone for navigation. There is no really beautiful or great way to get a phone mounted on the front there. It just is not. If I put it there, or there, or there, it just doesn't work. So I use SP Connect, and I'll show you how it looks, but that is one of the advantages of using SP Connect, is they have a Khrome mounting bracket, anti-vibration damper, that kind of blends into the triple clamp there. So that's what it looks like. My phone sits right on top of there, and it snaps right in. And then because of that, you can see there is a USB-C to USB-C, and I have a wire that mounts right there that I can plug my phone into. So let me show you how my phone works. So there's the back of my phone, SP Connect. It's a proprietary, it's pretty thin. I'm gonna have to just put it on, and you'll see it just fits right there, and anti-vibration, which will keep the camera from getting out of sorts, and then you just plug it in, and that's it. So does it look good? No, it doesn't. But there is no way to make a phone look good on this motorcycle, but it's what I use for commuting, so it's the best of the worst, I guess, right? There is one more thing that I'll do, and I'll give a shout out to my friend Bobby and my mom. There's my Gremlin Bell. You can see what it says. I won't say it out loud, but I think that kind of ties in with today's video. My mom and my buddy Bobby gave me 2 Gremlin Bells. I put them together to make one. And that is that. I should mention, I also got a new helmet, a Scorpion XO, I forget. That's it. You can see my mounting. Yeah, Scorpion XO. I took the Scorpion logo off, but I wanted something kind of appropriate, kind of Dynabro, kind of more appropriate to what I had, and just white matched. My old helmet was getting old, and it's time to replace it, so that's my new helmet. Go with the bike. So I'm done with mods for now, and thanks for sticking around and watching the latest update on my canister updates, as well as the mod updates. So guys, what mod should I do next? Right now, I think I'm done for now, until that tank gap comes next. What questions do you have? Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of my mods. What seats are you running? We'll catch you in the next episode. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.